You should make hummus in a pressure cooker. But why?
You see, years ago, I actually made hummus from scratch, and it took well over a day. First, you gotta take your garbanzo beans and soak them overnight. Then you gotta cook them for 3 hours. Then you gotta cool them down, and only then can you convert it to hummus. And at that point, you're better off settling for the pre-made store-bought stuff.
Meanwhile, a pressure cooker can take you from dry bean to yummy dip in an hour. So let's get cooking, habibis. Now, to make our pressure cooker hummus, you'll need, a pressure cooker. Now, sure, you can use an Instapot, but I like good old-fashioned pressure cookers. There's 2 reasons. 1, I like to live dangerously. The fact that I'm working with a potential pressure bomb just kind of gives it an extra bit of dangerousness. But secondly, and most importantly, traditional pressure cookers get much more hotter, much more faster. And since speed is key in this recipe, I'm going old school. Purchase link in the description if you want one. Anyway, enough dilly-dallying, even if it does mean more watch time. Let's begin. To our pressure cooker, let's add 1 cup of dried garbanzo beans. Or chickpeas, they're the same. And no, I'm not being ingredients-ist. Just Google it, they really are the same. Then let's top that off with 8 cups of water. Slap on the lid and make sure it's on secure nice and tightly. Now, it depends what model of pressure cooker you're using. This is a more recent model. Specifically, it's a more recent models of pressure cooker are way more safe, unlike the old ones which were just pressure bombs. So if you're more absent-minded than Kinger on 420, don't worry, your pressure cooker won't turn your house into Gaza. Oh boy, I really hope I don't have to private this video later. Anyway, if your pressure cooker allows, set this to 2 bars of pressure and brings this to a boil. So, while this comes up to pressure, some of you might be wondering, why do things cook faster in a pressure cooker? I don't know, I should have scripted this out. Me in post-production, can you explain?
Sure, why not? You see, one thing that always comes into play when you're using a pressure cooker is the law of thermodynamics. Under normal circumstances, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. When you use a pressure cooker, you trap the steam inside the pot and pressure builds. With all that steam creating high pressure, it makes it harder for the water to turn into a gas, which means more energy must be put into it, which means a higher boiling point. And it's that higher boiling point that allows the water to get hotter and cook the food way faster. And that's the scientific reason why I can take dried garbanzo beans and turn them into hummus the same day. Back to you, past me.
Thanks, me in post-production. Okay, that hissing sound means it comes to pressure, so let's reduce the heat to medium-low. Okay, steam coming out of the vent, that's what you want. And let that cook for 45 minutes.
Under pressure.
Okay, 45 minutes are up, and we gotta cool this down. Now you can just turn off the heat and let it come down to pressure normally, but that risks overcooking our beans. So instead, put it in the sink and just cool it down with cold water. And take a look at that. Our garbanzos have plumped up and cooked in a mere fraction of the time it would take normally. Next, grab a large bowl and a large colander. Place the colander inside the bowl. Dump everything in here. Okay, let's set this aside. Now let's focus strictly on our garbanzos. We need the, okay, these need to cool down, so let's just rinse these in cold water. And let's save 2 cups worth of our garbanzo water. Alright. Okay, and it's ready to be turned into hummus. Whip out your handy dandy food processor. Link in the description if you need one. Before we add our beans to the processor, let's grab a small spoonful and set them aside in a small bowl and add the rest to our mixer. Next, let's add half a cup of tahini paste Wait. If you leave this hanging for too long, the tahini and the oil tend to separate, so like a stubborn cow, let's give this a good beating so it can work. Now, some chefs like to use peanut butter instead of tahini paste. That's retarded. It's going to throw the entire flavor of the hummus off, so please use tahini paste. Now let's add 2 to 3 garlic cloves, depending on their size. 1.5 teaspoons of salt. 1/2 teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. 1/2 cup of our reserved garbanzo water. And finally, 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. I thought this guy making AI videos of anime girl feet, so yeah, he is extra virgin. Blend until smooth. Alright, it's nice and smooth. Let's give it a quick taste test. Actually, that's good. Now, you can add things like herbs or cumin. Grutch! But I'm okay with just plain hummus. Okay, let's transfer this to a large bowl. Well, large-ish bowl. Take the back of a spoon and try to make a little well. Let's garnish with some paprika. And let's add back our spare cooked garbanzo beans. Drizzle everything off with olive oil. And let's drizzle a little bit more olive oil. And heat up some pita bread and dig right in. You know, in a less politically contentious world, I probably wouldn't say this, but I'm saying it. Sabra can suck it. This has been Chase Cuttin Kitchen. I'm CRJ, making cooking fun and meeting it this time.